Map. Beyond Reach. Welcome to the Beyond Reach. Windhelm, Winterhold. We must go to any of the city. Mortal, Solitude, Rorikstead. Let's go to Whiterun. Let's go to Whiterun. Why not?
You! What are you? Please, take Mother Mara's blessing to wash this unease away.
What are you on about?
Mother guides me to those flickering souls who are yet to cast themselves on the fire for tomorrow's utopia. She sees in you potential which can avert calamity. I, her most devoted servant, need you to believe in the goodness of your heart, in love.
Stop with the hard word, incessant rambling, and get to the point.
Forgive her, beloved child of entropy. For all her convictions, she only looks up, blind to those below the clouds which she wishes to ascend. There is a terror of minds and ideas forming in the West. A conciliage of antipathy and repressed hatred is nearing its sum. If this horror transpires, then neither the restraints of distance nor time will thwart the canker that will be birthed there. I make this plea to you, special child. Meditate between the opposites and seek resolution in the chaos. I will help whenever I can, but my light is weak. However, even the faintest flame can act as a beacon against the background of deep night. That flame will appear to you in a maze of dark when you most need it.
Mara, what is this?
There is nothing to decipher. Just take heed of these words. Go west and see. Open those eyes and see that which belies its splendor. Beset by men, gods, kings, and ideas, keep a clear eye. Keep your head above water when you reach that realm. The tides of want can drown any who venture too far from the shore.
What should I do then? You're still speaking in riddles.
Huh? Sorry. Ugh, my head. Please be careful.
What on Nern? What spell did you cast on her?
I had no such spell. Whatever it was had affected me as well.
Yes, I saw. You were mumbling to yourself, almost word for word that of Jayana. Forgive me. Our travels have put me in a hastened mood.
Your priestess has Mara speaking through her. Told me about a place in the west.
Didn't know madness could be contracted. Is this a jest you're both in on?
Do I look like I'm jesting? Tell me of this place to the west.
No. It looks like you're serious, which worries me a lot more. The closest I can come to answering your visions is that we had just hailed from Evermore, which may be that west you want. If you're dead set on taking voyage there, then a merchant who has a route between that hinterland kingdom and Skyrim should be resting at Markarth. Word of warning, if you care to listen. The Reach isn't a place you want to risk your neck just on the visions of a zealous priestess.
Mara's blessings.
What did you mean in that rambling?
If only I could tell you. My mind was beholden to something truly divine, so much that I can't recall aught that I uttered. However, I have an image of the reach from that possession. Oh, an incredibly irksome feeling. Maybe you can seek out an answer by following the roads westward. Maybe the same merchant who carried us through that web of valleys can impart the same privilege unto you. Seek him out near Markarth, if you will. Good fortunes on your travels.
Beyond Reach, rumor has it the trade between the Reach has slowed to a crawl with the eruption of civil war in Skyrim, and growing disorder throughout High Rock. I learn of a merchant who will soon be making the voyage through the craggy landscape in hopes of delivering his goods to Evermore. He is now stationed at Markarth in search of a caravan guard. I should try to make trip with him before he departs. Beyond Reach. Okay. Well met.
Good day.
Traveling to High Rock?
What gave it away? This rugged face or my tired gaze? Crossing those valleys will give you both.
Was informed you were staying here by a religious couple. Happen to know them?
Ah, little blind girl and her clingy bodyguard, right? They're a couple now? Didn't seem to give that impression on their way here. I digress. Going to make a return journey through that rocky maze once I've got all the wares for my eager clients in the east, and I'm short of a bodyguard myself. The fool who escorted me here got himself lost in the wilds somewhere, staggering from the inn in a drunken stupor. Thought about tying him to the wagon until he came to his senses, yet ultimately, if you're going to put your life in someone's hands, then it better be someone you trust.
And you trust me? We've only just met.
Alright. I'm desperate, you see. Happy now? I just need a body to take the hits in case we get into any trouble. Which we won't, of course. Don't worry, I'll be paid handsomely. That is, if you don't drop the venture halfway through and push through to the end.
Yeah, I'll jump on. Always wanted to see High Rock.
Don't want to blow the wind out of your sails, but this is the east of High Rock, worlds apart from the west. Don't want you to be getting any false impressions of us Breton folk from the, people you meet down there. There I go rambling again. Get aboard. New lands await.
Get on board. Sir, yes sir.
Hope you brought your own rug. That hardwood's gonna be a real pain later on. Don't get too comfortable though. Still need a blade ready for when the road gets rough. Doorstep of the kingdom, yet the gods ordain that we stumble across trouble now.
Mortal, beseech his own transcendence. Beyond Reach contains very disturbing and sensitive subject matter, including rape, child abuse, torture, and profanity. If you wish not to see her this material, please select Yes to censor. Story may suffer but will remain sound and coherent. No, censor nothing. Okay.
Look over there! The man's gasping for life! I'm not going any further until you find out what's going on.
Why don't you go look instead?
Hey now, I'm just a merchant! I try to avoid spilled blood. Besides, what else am I paying you for?
What will we expect on the road?
Well, the previous ventures haven't seen much spilled blood, save for a passenger getting leery with another, though my route is one of the safer paths of travel. I have to pick up the pace through certain stretches, have bandits and the like springing traps from above on any uncaring traveller making their way to the province. Once we reach the easternmost part of Evermore, then we should be safe. Got the guard there meting out justice with an iron fist. Scoundrels should stay well clear. Most of the time, anyway.
Most of the time?
Well, don't want to startle you, as I do need an extra blade, but we've got a problem with these savages north of Evermore. They like to call them witchmen. Not sure if that's what the savages call themselves, but we'll stick with it. See, rumours are stirring that these witchmen are getting agitated. Sporadic attacks all across the kingdom made the wilds near impossible to dwell in because of their savagery. But that's a problem you'll have to deal with once you reach the kingdom, not on your way there. So don't fret about the journey itself. You'll be fine.
What should I expect in the kingdom?
Evermore's renowned most of all for its colourful cast of characters and deviants. You'll run the gamut of Bretonnic experience in that cluster of man. First settlement you'll come across, considering you stay the course once you depart from a wagon, is the Divide, a hulking bridge jutting out from its watery locale. Standing atop that stony juggernaut will grant you a vista of the Reach's mires and towns, most notably Arnima, and if you squint hard enough, Evermore itself.
Evermore? I thought Evermore was a kingdom.
Semantics, eh? Evermore is the city and the kingdom, where the city itself beats as the heart and centre of our royal affairs. The place where the Reach consolidates its authority and, well, reach over the east. Used to be a backwater not too long ago, the Eastern Hinterland Kingdom, yet recent times have spoiled the city with inordinate wealth and power. Power that they've used to conquer and subjugate their comparatively less civilized neighbours. Now any Breton dwelling east of the city's walls sports their banner. You'll see it on your arrival.
You mentioned a town called Arnima. What happened there?
Nothing pleasant, I assure you. Most outside their miserable sty consider it to be a stain on the kingdom, with good reason. Most of the guards are nothing but thugs looking to shake down us humble merchants when given the chance, and they routinely terrorise those unfortunate sods they don't have the means to leave. All governed by that strange character, Mortefain. Lord Mortefain, to be correct. Never call a lord by his name. Heard tales of sordid acts and strange punishment disseminated upon those beneath him, who weren't wise enough to escape. Most of these tales smacked of madness. Most I simply ignored because they're hard to imagine happening within any civil residence. I never risked finding out for myself. Town dampers the mood, which isn't good when you're travelling on your lonesome.
I'll be avoiding the place then.
Reminds me. I actually have to pass by that decaying dump. Got a client right within their walls. Hopefully the guards are knockout drunk, as usual. They're meanest when they're sober. And, Don't blame me if you see this wagon halfway to the horizon upon hearing your screams. Have to protect my interests.
What happened here?
Those witchmen in the tower. They ambushed us when we were changing shifts. Won the divide. Get them to send men, please.
Oh.
Fleshling sails us. The king will have his towers, he will have his subjects, and he will have your head. The Dark Mother assures this. The maggot. Mother.
Come to talk.
Not survivors left. The Forsworn attacked this tower. Forsworn.
No, friend. Not forsworn. Witchmen. Thought I told you about these devils already?
Must have forgotten.
Trust me, these aren't the type you want to be ignorant about. If you treat them like you would any common scoundrel hounding for your coin purse, then the next sight you'll be seeing is that of your gods. Bastards coat their blades and arrows with this vile poison. A resin so foul it can condemn giants to an agonizing death with nary a brush. Not sure how you came out of that alive, to be honest. You're tougher than you look.
I've faced worse. I've been in oblivion, for God's sake.
Really? That's hard to believe. These scum are a whole new low for the Reachmen. Carving up man, woman, child and babe alike in their hideous rituals. Sadistic artists. How they play with the bodies they harvest and hoist them in that dense woodland north. Foul. Simply foul. Spoiled my mood. At least you've made it back. I was about to do one, had you spent any longer up there.
Where will you go now? And will I face any more witchmen on the road?
You shouldn't. The divide is within spitting distance. If you keep to the road, you should arrive there without harm. Unless you take a detour, that is. That's where my almighty prescience ends and the uncertainty begins. And as we know, ignorance pays. My clients are probably waiting with bated breath, taken long enough to get here already. I'll need to skip on any indulgences on that bridge and head straight to Arnima. However, you should speak with the governor up there, Morosa. Frumpy little woman, but don't tell her I said that. She'll normally be within the temple, sparing a prayer for our mutual mother.
Mutual mother?
Mara, you fool! If there's one god you should know in the Reach, then it's her. The people don't take kindly to those who know not about her grace. I'll see you around, friend. Give my thanks to Marosa for keeping this road so safe.
Alrighty then.
And the clouds gather again? How futile. Your tears will not wash away the wounds. The feast draws near, little wolves.
Oh. Okay. Just for fast traveling. Nothing else, just for fast traveling.
Hold up. Haven't seen you up here before. What's your business?
Witchman sacked the watchtower to the west. I came to inform Marosa.
Witchman? Bloody Mara. Never thought they would get this close. Okay, you can go through to Marosa. Tell her everything. For the sake of the Reach. Don't cause any trouble now.
Nope, I won't.
Heard the news from Skyrim? They say that Ulfric was captured and killed.
He wasn't killed. A dragon came to rescue him.
A dragon? You're mad, brother. Fresh news for the hardy folk of the Divide.
Hey, new face, do me a favor, will you? Please, I'll make it worth the trouble.
What is, beggar?
Look, I need some gear, friend. Real fast, like. I'm willing to part with whatever gold I got here. If you agree, that is. Just need you to give the rest of this pouch to a fella named Elrich, down in Arnema. He'll be festering with the rest of our ilk. You know, beggars.
Ever since the plague of the city practically shut its gates to us Reachmen.
Sorry, my lord. I meant no offense. Don't think nothing of it.
Us risking our lives. I'm sure some of them are grateful for that.
Sometimes I yearn for those simpler times.
And
returning to those days.
Here.
Sir, nothing but. The dull and stagnant are twin to this life.
If fortune favours us.
You wanted to speak of Mortavane. I've heard the news from the council that his seat in Arnima may be put into question.
You heard correct, because he and his guards are demanding more gold from the merchants, while also becoming more aggressive. No better than thugs. And that little lord does nothing but encourage it. I despise that unsightly man. Every conversation with him is extremely unpleasant. His paranoia also makes it so we can't have any of our own in that town to keep an eye on him.
I have a missionary within the temple down there. He shares whispers with me on occasion. If you need consoling on this, you only need to ask. If I may beg my pardon, I shall return to servicing this temple.
Very well. Make a prayer that nothing terrible arises from this disorder. It's good to have the gods listening in times like this.
Merosa? You are talking.
Have we arranged a meeting, or is it your intent to address nobility lacking proper decorum? Speak quickly, lest you rile my temper.
I'm Nastasia Sealmaiden. Your lookout tower was sacked by witchmen.
Oh, a harbinger of grim news. Not the best first impression.
No.
Well, thank you for telling me in advance of my own guards. It was only a matter of time before they spilled further east.
I'm just a messenger, ma'am. I'm just a messenger.
Pardon the introduction, yet understand the need for it. We can't have any wandering yokel approach royalty like they're of the same stock. It's not good for the kingdom's image. We'll have the guard there as soon as possible. But for you, are you interested in some coin? We need someone to talk to us.
What do you need done?
Yes, well, onto the matter. To the east of this bridge lies the town of Arnima, formerly Raven Spring, lest you run into a resident whose mind is stuck in bygone years. Can get confusing, much like everything else in this land. Within Arnima, you will find Jakos, who trains the scout detachment there. He's the only man that I somewhat trust, who's not completely beholden to his lord. Ask him about rumors. Tell him that I sent you. He should understand your intent. We've conducted affairs before. A simple nod from him will be more than enough information for you to infer. You don't need to know any further than that.
I understand. You have my silence.
Now, off you go. Earn a small fortune for yourself. I heard Evermore has many an opportunity to entertain your proclivities. On the stipulation of coin, mind you. Such coin that will be available on your return.
Any in particular that I should expect when traveling the roads?
I assume you're new to the Reach and haven't become acquainted with anything further than this bridge, so a brief lesson in geography is in order. Just beyond the southern gate of the settlement lays Sabbath, a town recently ravaged by a mage that was still sniffing out. However, our search was impeded from the risen dead that Malcontent left in their wake.
And if we kill this mage, will the march of this dead horde cease?
It's a possibility, yet I'm not staking any more men on a hope. We're but a fledgling town when it comes to arms. Our guard exists for immediate defense, not to be used in any failed excursion.
Those witchmen that attacked your eastern tower, who are they?
I'm no expert nor historian, but what I can tell you should be the same that every Reachman would recite when speaking of those savages. Accounts state that this new incarnation of the Witchman appeared near 2 decades back, just after the incident at Munstor.
Munstor?
You haven't heard of it either.
No, I'm new
I
here.
feel like I'll be going over the history of every blade of grass in the Reach. I digress. Munstor was an abandoned fort far to the north that has since succumbed to its frozen locale. Peasants, serfs, and other seditious souls had made a great exodus under the cover of night, all leaving their fields, abandoning the lords they were sworn to serve. Of course, when all your labor, thus wealth, absconds in but a moment, there will be tremors. So the lords had sent men to trail these wayward workers all the way to Munstor. What they saw was an ostensibly bizarre affair, both witchmen and peasants forming a decadent commune, many turning to layabouts who engaged in petty pleasures and shirking the labor that had made them.
Witchmen with the peasants? Those witchmen don't seem like the type you want to live with.
I see you're not one for absorbing the finer details of a conversation. This was before they had all turned feral. Not to say they weren't savage before, but that former identity was ultimately harmless, unlike those you see now. The lords eschewed violence at first, instead opting to subvert the commune, freeing their scum and exiles northward, with the condition that they go live in Munstor. The hope was that the delusional dreamers of that town would abandon their fickle want for equality once extreme personalities had entered their midst.
And did they?
To our utter astonishment, they didn't. These scum that would haunt our societies were either subsumed into the mix or blocked from entry, leading many to evaluate the true intent of these radicals. We thought they were just pacifists who'd allow any and all into their ranks, which would spell doom for any gathering. Panic-stricken, many lords conspired, finally pushing for the siege that would be that commune's undoing. Cutting off food, digging extensive tunnels to both poison their wells and revealing more avenues for attack. Lastly, clear diplomacy, to impart some reason into those serfs, enough for them to return to civilization and abandon these naive ideals.
So, how this tale conclude?
The lords saw the beneficiaries within Munstor, a gathering of hag ravens who were prolonging the siege to impossible lengths. Then crumbs of discontent were found among the militia. Fear gripped the nobility that these ideas could spread to every serf. Nobility, not just from Evermore, but from all over High Rock, sent aid when they heard how severe the crisis was. All of High Rock seemingly united to crush this small town. Yet only a Luddite would think so simply. This was to crush an idea, a canker that'd undo the very world we haven. So the Lord's strength was honed into one blow, throwing all their might at those walls. They fell, and what mercy we would have spared upon those misguided serfs was instead replaced with conviction to stamp out a chaotic ideology.
You killed all the serfs?
No. They, however, did. To the last man, woman, and child, a Pyrrhic victory in the truest sense. Evermore had lost half its serf class, yet the lords were elated that the existential crisis of revolution was averted. Exceptionally harsh measures were put in place for anyone that even uttered the commune's name, or who dared to evoke the same rebellious sentiments. And so that concludes the tale of Munstor.
A tragic, a tragic story it is. However, how does this make a new Witchman?
Almost lost myself in another tale. Maybe because that question isn't as easily answered. Bear with me, as what follows can drift into conjecture. Rumors from the nobility in that siege reported seeing figures watching the slaughter unfold in the town. Neither part of the kingdom's militia or the defendants. Scouts were dispatched to see who the strange party was, and upon their return they displayed strange idols, with the scouts claiming them as gifts from those shady silhouettes, though their names or identities were never disclosed. Most of the nobility had discarded these charms immediately, except for that wretched Mortifane, who was enamored by that hideous amulet that still wrings his filthy neck.
What do you think they want?
If I could tell you, then we'd already be halfway to a solution by now. But that's where my knowledge ends. I hope you enjoyed the tale. It's always a guilty pleasure to recite when the low-born are acting up.
Stranger, fancy an extra blade to accompany you through the menagerie that is the Reach?
Selling yourself in a temple of Mara? That's low, even for we who'd work for blood money.
Who said I'm not working for our mum as well? If it makes you feel any better, I spare a little prayer for every unfortunate bastard that happens to meet my axe. Besides, haven't you done just the same thing? Maybe poor of vision, but I ain't deaf.
It's different. I'm helping the people here by assisting Merosa.
Always a spin, huh? Look, I ain't gonna knock you for earning a little extra coin. Not many other options to do so around the Reach. Though if you're ever feeling down and you need a rough pauldron to cry on, then I'm your man. Though I've got a little problem with my legs. You see, they can't move unless I rub 'em with some coin. Say, 500 septums to be exact. So, will you help a poor old codger to walk again?
I don't have any choice. Consider yourself hired.
Gold makes me a happy man. Now let's go bash some skulls before I bore my ass off. Till next time.
Merosa seemed unfazed, but concerned enough to instantly send me on an errand to speak with an officer in Arnima and ask about the current dealings. I should also investigate what I heard about the Arnemian Lord. Investigate Arnima through speaking with Jacobs. Okay, how hard can it be?
You can't keep it all. That's my earnings for the season. Listen, I can treat you lads to a round at the inn if you just let me take back half my stuff. A good compromise, right, boys?
It's always Evermore, never us that you care about. Why is that, merchant? Gold more important than blood, huh? And nah, we're keeping the whole lot of it. Besides, the inn stopped selling quality ale a good while ago. Nothing but piss pints now.
Too right. Been ages since we've had a good drink. Could probably buy a whole fortnight's worth of rum on your behalf, merchant. Those ponces at
We could go
Evermore
for a
will have to
pint
wait
right
for their
about
next
now.
batch of fancy
Come on,
jewellery.
what you say?
Here, here. Now, we're a generous lot, so your horse and whatever rags you wrapped in are all yours. And this is only temporary, so don't feel too glum.
Yeah, bugger off before we get all Morty involved.
Word spreads, lads. Be surprised when us men of coin stop appearing.
Can we... It's better. It's better at the daytime. What is that swivel?
Need something?
What is the deal with these witchmen?
Isn't that the question on everyone's lips? Abandon any hope of reasoning with these savages. Trying to understand them will earn you a dung-covered arrow in the gut. The dam wiped out nigh 8/10 of the men I've sent up their way. All fell by either maddening sorcery or toxic weaponry. The other 2/10 returned either missing their limbs or part of their sanity.
Sanity? Oops.
You heard right. Like their brains were not clean out of their skulls, raving mad, regurgitating the same strange words that those fanatics vomit up from their black lungs. Ever wondered how a force this destructive and incoherent can keep their numbers up? It's not because they breed like rabbits, though that's definitely playing a role. It's mainly because our very own defect from all over the kingdom.
Why would you join the witchmen?
Ain't that another question on everyone's lips? We'd love to give you a reason, but I've burnt myself out in the past trying to conjure one. Seems this dark prose gets lodged between their ears, messes with their thoughts, makes them violent, bitter and unpredictable. We've made it an unspoken law to exile those affected by this mind poison rather than take them in. Rehabilitation has proven futile, a cold measure, and cold begets cold, with the whole land freezing in its misery.
Anima fallen on the hard times?
Never seen you before, so I'll hazard a guess that you're new. The sheer state this town must be in for a newcomer to first remark on its poverty. If you're willing to stay a while longer, then you'll come to witness that some of us still retain our civility. Don't judge a book by its cover, they say. Wish that were completely true in our case.
I was sent by someone on the bridge to see if you need help.
Got ourselves a spy. Could find yourself at the end of a rope, if you're lucky. Yeah, I know who you're talking of. Tell her that a helping hand is more than welcome. She'll get the gist. Before I forget myself as someone of meagre authority, take this letter as well. The seal is meant to keep prying fingers out, so she'll know if you start sticking your nose in.
Anything else?
What? Want to take me to dinner? Just make sure you get back to her safely. If you ever feel your safety compromised, make sure to leave no trace of that letter. That's all the blood that follows will be on your hands, not mine.
Any work for me?
An eager helper or a plotting saboteur? If the latter, then I must warn you, there's no second chances within this town. First sign of you turning cloak will have you hoisted in the dungeons.
Paranoia isn't going to earn you any friends. No wonder you keep earning enemies.
What do you suggest? Confront our foes with daisies and smiles? They'll cleave your smug face in too. Yeah, there's some truth to your words, and I'd be remiss to this town's welfare if I stubbornly defend my stance. So if you're sincere and you want to help out, then we have a job at hand.
Tell me what you need to done and I'll make an attempt.
Oh no, friend. Not attempt, but do. This isn't a job that you can just half-arse and make your peace with the land. You'll have to stick it through, else Mara's going to be receiving another soul. If you haven't noticed, we civilized folk in our civilized gatherings are but an enclave to all the scum that lie in wait, just a stone's throw from our gates. Our closest neighbours happen to be those feral folk dejected from the kingdom's settlements, making the wilds their home.
Bandits?
Exiles. Same thing, just different legal repercussions if they ever return to where they were booted. The punishment here is death. Mortefane decreed it so. Even the family of exiles can expect the same harsh treatment if they're ever found to be consorting with their criminal kin.
So, what exactly do you want me to do?
Well, we needed a scout to oversee any contraband smuggling or corruption within our ranks, who may be dealing with the delinquents. The exiles don't pose the same threat as all the other villains in the Reach, but they sure break cohesion here in the kingdom. Always had a problem with our guard, doped up and turning a blind eye to their duties. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish between your own and those rats who supply them.
Got it. Tell me where to go.
Just what I like to hear. Some conviction for your work. Here, give us your map. I'll dot the area that our scouts use as a vantage point. Can gander at the whole camp on this humble knoll. Just make sure you're discreet with this venture. These exiles may be dumb, but they ain't blind.
Anything else I should know about my scouting duties?
Since you're working for us in this brief stint, I just want to brief you on our alarms. If you hear the horns blowing, then turn tail and get back to us in haste. We're on edge for any attacks on our walls, and for good reason. I had a witchman raid not long ago, and I want more bodies at the gate to deal with them. Seems as though every time I ponder about a raid, it happens. Misfortune runs through the land like hot water.
Why haven't you done anything about Mortefane already?
Got your blinders on? Plans have a tendency for being outed upon leaving your lips here. We've got ears all round town, eager to earn an extra septim for themselves by getting on the Lord's good side. Besides, our hands are ultimately tied through forces beyond Mortefane.
What do you mean?
There's a larger fear among the royalty in this province for uppity peasants than mad tyrants. We don't want to be setting any precedents with our unruliness now. And so our only ally is time. Waiting for the Lord to pass on for a more just ruler to reign. That knowing the Reach is a hope based in fantasy. We shouldn't talk about this further. A man has to be cautious if he wants to keep his head.
What can you tell me about Redguards?
That they're thieves. Alright, pardon my temper. I know better from my travels that they aren't all plunderers and pirates. Only because not every red owns a ship. And pardon the jab, can't help it. Sometimes you can only laugh when you're dealing with this much dung being thrown at you from every corner of the land. Let's just call them raiders, huh? Well, these raiders swarmed our southern mines. right in the heart of that storm which brought the rivers crashing into our walls. Cannon had levelled the bog and we soon saw the rats feed among the rubble.
Opportunities are always sized by predatory. And what is cannon?
It's what the Reds use because their impotent minds being incapable of handling magic. A large metal tube propels a metal ball, where if you blink, you'll miss it ripping right through your skull. These Red Guards have a lot of similar contraptions. Fortunately, the most advanced aren't held by their criminals, but by those with the coin to do so. Another precaution against a provincial war, if I may opine.
Yet we have magic, surely that's better. Why have they not been expunged for those mines?
It is better, but extremely taxing, and can have a callous mage in a very dire situation if he casts in disregard. Machine, however, needs no mental operator that must maintain a steady focus. Only thing they need is a cleaning, and someone with spare hands to wield it. Can't say the same for all the mages who've lost their minds from years of gazing into their tomes. So we're being careful when approaching these river rats. You have to gauge what their arsenal is before making our move. But rest assured, we will flush them out, just a matter of time.
Okay.
Keep your wits about you.
I coerced Jacobs into telling me of the situation. He spoke of tense climate in the town and that they're needed of aid. Of what kind I'm not sure, but that's not my business. I'll head back to Merosa with the news.
Out with it.
Jacobs told me their condition. Seems they're like the rumors were true.
He can very well bring our town down with his if he doesn't come to his senses. I'll have to make word with Evermore's council to see what can be done. Your deeds are appreciated. Make yourself feel welcome atop our bridge. The head of the Imperial Embassy, Drugo, needs someone as disciplined as you. Make sure to pay them a visit. Seems they're going to make a push against the Orsimer who raised their outpost. Your help could make the difference. Good to see some enthusiasm. The Reach certainly needs more like you.
What happened with this, Mortifying and yourself?
I'll prefer to keep a head on my shoulders and not become incensed by recalling our past altercations. Even picturing that miserable bitter face casts a spell of anger over me.
Sorry for asking then.
You needn't be. He, as a topic for conversation, is as pleasant as any other fetid duty we're plagued with, to only be addressed when its removal is an option.
I should tie with Drogo within the Imperial Embassy. There is not much to be done, huh?
Commander, you must understand that this costly operation you've scrolled will set you back on your debt with the kingdom.
And you must understand, Nariman, that this is our last opportunity to justify our presence here. Without this, any suspicions among the Bretons of our ineptitude will only deepen.
I advise great caution with the occupants of Deep Crag, Drugo. They could hold invaluable information. All you need to do is stay your hounds.
Keen to see them survive. Why is that, Nariman?
We shouldn't debase ourselves by imitating the barbarous Britons here. They've already bled the orcs dry. Why should we add to the slaughter?
The plans have been inked. We are not dealing with civilians here. Any rights the Empire would bestow are now forfeit. There will be no further delays.
Very well, Drugo, very well.
Drugo.
All the blood that spills.
It's not Drago, it's Drugo.
Ave?
Ave, Caesar. Is the Empire looking for an extra blade?
The Empire doesn't employ the services of simple murderers and thugs. But if you're looking to serve Tamriel, then yeah, we could use you. As you may or may not be aware, there's a significant orc population to the west of our hold. It's not just a neutral party either. Scouts have reported that they've burnt down a small outpost and built around it rapidly. We fear that their expansion may reach Arnima and further.
We got the people to deal with them?
Our auxiliaries and a few of the town guard may be sufficient to clear the outpost. We just have to pray they don't send more through the ravine. Go meet with the officer stationed just at the ridge, overlooking the lake. If you're still breathing, find your way back to this outpost, and I'll have a most generous reward waiting on the table. I hope you're one that honors the contract, which is a rare breed around here.
I'll do.
I'm sure. Now, don't keep my men waiting. May you have good fortune in the battle to come.
I've spoken to Commander Drugo, and he's given me privilege of attending the assault on the Orcs' stronghold, just west of the town. I'll make my way to the detachment near the lake. Okay. Hi. Then Dragonborn comes. Beware, beware the Dragonborn. Righty then.
Tragic seeing these forts in such a state. Can't say I'm surprised seeing the Empire these days.
Oh.
Step aside.
Why are you so tall?
Why are you so ugly?
I'm not ugly. Good one. How did you get your armor?
Tooth Fairy. Crushed a couple of orc skulls and put all their teeth under my pillow. When I woke up, there it
Cynicism.
was. You should try it. On your way.
So, you made it here then. Very well. We'll soon be cutting a path through these barbarians and taking back that post. Get ready.
I'm ready, lead the way.
Keep moving and stay focused.
What we'll be facing?
From the scouts' assessments, orc capabilities range from small artillery, arrows and such, to the main bulk of their arsenal, which are the blunt weapons stolen from the sacked depot within Deepcrag.
Anything special we should worry about?
Reports have spoken of them fostering great hounds, so avoid these beasts if you want to keep your limbs from rotting. Their incisors are known to be coated in the foulest fluids. Apart from that, standard affair. We'll break through their ranks in closed formation, shields raised. The knights will deal with the larger orcs as we strike at the archers. Go with grace. Keep messing around and you'll get us all killed.
Why are you so big? Why are you so ugly? I'm not ugly.
Keep close. A scattered formation is easily penetrable.
What's that?
Straight for the throat.
Skeever.
More than expected.
I'll piss on your corpse.
Fucking skeever.
Keep close. A scattered formation is easily penetrable.
Whether it's very good for assault.
Keep messing around and you'll get us all killed.
Fuck you.
Fool! Straight for the throat.
Too easy.
Keep close. A scattered formation is easily penetrable.
Back down!
Raymond, steer me.
Get down!
Straight for the throat.
ugly, stinking
Fool!
Back down! I'll carve you up.
Say your prayers.
Your people aren't fit to rule this land.
Your ugly-headed lass.
You're a
I'll carve
mistake.
you up.
Weak!
There you are.
I'll be... Ha!
These barbarians are vicious, but simple. Use your wits to your advantage. Enemies in sight. Hold fast.
You will suffer for that.
Savage!
Dare stand before me? Let me hear you scream. Weak.
Neutralize the firstborn.
What's the matter? Till next time. A special type of orc. I've seen it firsthand, the away rest.
You dare stand...
Cheeky.
This statue seems to be made of the rapidly seeping clay, probably gathered from the surrounding cliffs. Most of the details were erased by wind and rain, but you can still make out the intimidating visage of Malakat. Yes, this is Malakat. Eliminate the warship. Okay. And he is where?
Hide you from your entrails.
Look who's joined the fray. Orcs will feel your blood.
Going places, wrecking faces.
Denies. Are you alright?
Finally, someone came. Please, get me down from here already.
Hold on, I'll get you down from here.
Oh, thank you. Ah, my wrists. Get me out of here. Away from this place. Leave me.
That is rude.
Take you soon. Forget about it. The things they did. I can feel it writhing inside me. The orcs placed one of them. Please! I can't raise a damn orc spawn! No. I'd rather die than...
With the orcs defeated, I make my way With the orcs defeated, I make my way back to Drogo for a reward.
Citizen?
The orcs have been forced back for now.
My soldiers tell me of your skill in battle, and I've reported that you did what you were sent for. Thus, you'll be rewarded generously.
I do my best.
Also, have a look at this. Seems Mortafane is in need of a mercenary. Apparently those witchmen up in the valley ran with something very dear to him. Seeing that you've excelled in helping our forces with that assault, I'm sure you'll be more than enough for whatever he has in store. Go with grace.